Hi, everybody. We have got a lot of features pushed out in the last 6 months or so at Loft. And I am going to take a few minutes here to walk you through everything that's been released and how to use it. This is going to be a bit of a longer video, so I will put some timestamps on the video so you can maybe move forward or backwards depending what specific feature you're interested in, because we've done a lot. And that's starting with our AI. So we do have AI deal creation and signature and initial reviews in place. Now, if you're on our most recent pricing tiers, you will have that included. If you have been using Loft for some time, you might just want to upgrade to be able to use those AI features. It's going to also include any of the new AI that we're bringing in, because there's a lot that we want to get done for you. And we're taking a ton of customer feedback. If you have additional feedback, please let us know, because there's all kinds of things that we can build into the application to make your lives easier. So with that being said, let's walk through some of the new functionality that we have that's getting released. So we're going to start with the AI. And how that works right now is you just head to a new deal, and rather than creating anything manually, like of course you can still use the integrations that we have pulling from transaction management or WeChat, but you're just going to say create with AI. You're going to grab your contracts. I have some samples here. So you're just going to grab your contract. As an administrator or a broker, you're going to have to let it know which agent it is. But if your agents are logging in, it knows who they are. And what it does is put it into a background job to actually create that transaction. So it does take about a minute and a half or so to create the deal and have the signatures reviewed. So feel free to put up to, as many as you've gotten in the door. If you're a busy brokerage, maybe you had 30 new deals or that were finalized yesterday, you can just upload them all and go about your day. So that's going to put that into the background job for you. And I'll just show you what that actually looks like with a sample that I have already done. So it's going to create the deal. It creates all of this information. The only thing it might not have, because most contracts don't have it, is the commission amount. So you can save yourself all this data entry, and you might just have to enter in the commissions or confirm them, okay? But what it will also do is review for signatures. So it's going to create that deal. And if you head to the signatures tab, we're going to walk through this a little bit more in detail when we look at the new requirements section. But I just wanted to show you what it's doing there. So it's checking all the places where you would expect an initial or a signature and letting you know what's missing. Okay, so in this case, we only have 1 of 9 present. That's not good. There's 8 of 9 missing, and you can see the details here of where it's actually missing. So if it says footer initial required, you're just going to go see here. Yeah, it's missing that initial there. So that one's not quite done. Users are going to get a notification of that. So that's kind of your first pass. It's going to create the deal and do a first pass at looking at that. And then of course you can look through the other documentation supplied. Okay, so that's the deal creation signature review. And now we're going to talk about just enhancements that we've done throughout the product. The first of which is listings. So our listings are fairly light. We have enhanced the search ability on there. So you can search by agents or listing numbers, MLS numbers, addresses, whatnot. But we've also added the ability to link your listing to your deal. So you can create a deal from a listing. It's going to ask you for the documentation to create the deal as well. But you can also use this new linking concept that we have here. So if you do create the deal from a listing, it's going to copy all the documentation. So it's housed in the deal that's associated with it. But say you're using the AI for deal creation and you don't want to create it this way, you can then just go ahead and link it. So I can just look up any deal that's in the system and link it. So you might have more than one, but you might just want it to be a one-to-one, and you can do this from the deal summary section as well. So you can link or unlink as you see fit. Okay, so now we're going to move to deals. And I know we're going through this a little bit fast. So if you do have questions, just hit support hit the chat button here or just email support at Loft47. We can walk through it or give you more specific user guides and instructions if you'd like, okay? So for deals, we've done quite a few updates, one of which is custom tagging. So a lot of brokerages have their own workflow, have very specific roles. So if you have a specific role, maybe you have to take a look at every deal that's pending a deposit, making sure that that's come in or something. All kinds of different ways to work, or maybe the way you handle a transaction is different. So say if it's a luxury transaction or it's a pre-sale, property management, if it's got a referral on it, if it came from Zillow, you can create these tags on the fly to organize your work and then filter by your work. So for any of these, I can just add a tag, name it, and set the color myself. You can decide if it's visible to agents or not. Maybe some of your workflow is internal and you don't need agents seeing all that information. You can hide it from them or share it with them or ask them to tag your own way. So in order to make it useful for you, you can create your own tags and save them and manage them yourself. But then one of the great things is if you are the person that has to look at, maybe it's you're responsible for sending out communication for deals and you have a specific tag for that, you can just filter by whichever tag you've created and then save it as a view. So every time you log into Loft now, that's your view. That's your to-do list, if you will. So feel free to play with those. We've also added some changes to the commission entry. Loft has always had the gross commissions and the sell commissions. We've now offered the ability to enter them as list and sell. Same calculations, they work the same way. It's just whether you want to put the total commission and then subtract the sell commissions to get the list amount, or if you want to actually enter them as list and sell, of course, those two will add up to the gross. So same math, just a slightly different look. Thirdly, we have these disbursement notes. So this is your ability to write whatever you want on this deal that might need to go out to, say, a title company or a lawyer or an escrow. Maybe it's additional instructions on your CDA that you would like to do. So this little area is for your admins to use and enter whatever that they would like to. It comes with a tag. So you can actually use a tag in any of your templates to include disbursement notes or not. So if that's something you're consistently doing or you just want to type something different per deal, there is a tag that you can use that will populate in any of your outgoing communications. And it's important to note that we have enhanced quite a lot of tags. So in our documentation, you'll see a link of all the different tags you can use. It's pretty robust now. We've added things like deposit dates, deposit receipt information, who it was received from, the source of business on any kind of transaction. So there's quite a few in there. So be sure to take a look. So that's disbursement notes. Also, given all the changes in commissions, and it's possible now for the buy-side commissions to come from more than one party. And we built this tracking system in here so that you can track on it, you can report on it, you can track financially who's contributing. So this doesn't change the total commission amount. This says, okay, we have a member of the team, what side they're on, what role they're on, and how much. So let's say the buyer's commission was coming, 50% of it was coming from the listing agent, and then 50% was actually coming from the buyer themselves. You can record that and then, of course, report on it. So that's going to become a part of your data set. So that helps with the changes to commission tracking that you might be required to actually track. That's it for deals overview. I wanted to go through a few of our additional settings that we have here just to help with general workflow. One of these is duplicate profiles. So especially if you're using an integration with Loft, we can see a lot of duplicates coming through. So if somebody's in .loop and the agent has created an additional role, and that comes in. Often we see a lot of duplication. So we've created this tool for you that will review the percentage match, the likelihood that they are a duplicate, and then you can decide to merge them. So it's going to tell you what parts of it are going to be kept as well. So it's just a much faster way, maybe just spending a little bit of time once in a while to come in here and just clean up any duplicates. It's pretty fast. So it's going to tell you the percentage of the match, but you can decide for yourself whether to merge them or not. Maybe you do want to keep them separate. The other thing about profiles is we have changed the profile types. And this is to enhance your agent's ability to look up contacts in the brokerage, but not share client information. Okay. So for any profile in the system, you can set it to any type of these organizations. Sorry, I have this. I'm just going to come right back to that. Sorry, we're just going to pick a profile. And if you look at types, you can hit buyer or seller. So what that does is classify it as an agent's contact and an agent's client. So again, if you go back into your settings, you can specify how agents can look up information. So if an agent has created a deal with AI, say, but they wanted to add a lawyer, you want them to be able to look up that lawyer from the brokerage's full contact list. But you want to spare them from seeing any of their associated agents' client information. So we have different settings for that. But now with the new type buyer seller, you can say all except others, buyers and sellers. So that's an agent can look up any brokerage contact, but not see their co-workers' client information. So that is a big change, and that should hopefully reduce any kind of duplication there is. But of course, any more help we can give for duplication cleanup, we are doing. So finally, one of the biggest changes is this requirement state and templates. We did add a lot more functionality to the requirement template. So requirement template is a setting, it's going to populate on any deals that match the criteria that you have specified. So instead of doing full checklists, you can actually just say this is a California MLS sold form. It's going to apply to these specific deals or these subtypes. You can specify if it's document or an action item, set a closing date or notifications to go out before, how many days before or after, or when it expires. So lots of flexibility in there now. And when a deal's created, it's only going to create the requirements that meet those conditions. And we've also added requirement state. So this is maybe for bigger brokerages. If you have more than one level of review, you might want to specify that. So in this sample, I'm saying it could be waiting on a second review. So again, if you're that person who has to do the second review, you can actually set your filter on the deal page so that you only see the things that are waiting for your review. So again, just really trying to get some more workflow efficiency going by doing these custom either statuses or custom tagging. And then of course, we'll go back into a deal here and I'll just show you what all that looks like. So on the requirements, of course, we have these new requirements that come in. You can drag and drop your documentation. And once it's dragged, you can see which documents are tried in there. You can change the statuses from here, but you can also go in and preview the documentation. So we do the first initial review for signatures and initials, but you can have your administrator move through all the documentation in here and update the status right from here. So it's kind of a quick view of all the requirements that have to be reviewed. And the other nice thing that we've created is this summary link. So an agent can copy this, you can send it via email, you can give it to a client, and what that's going to do, it's just a nice clean summary of the progress of the transaction. So we've included no financial information in this. This is just a nice summary of where are we at in terms of what's required to close this deal and what has been done already. So just a nice clean way to share information. So we are so happy to bring these changes. We have a lot more that we want to do. So again, we would just love to get feedback. And if you are using these new tools, again, we're giving them to you to make use of. And if you have feedback for us, that would be great. If you have suggestions for us, that would be great. Again, we're doing a lot with MCP, so you can use Claude with your Loft47 data. You can use our API to build more tools. You can use webhooks. We've got those going for you. And of course, we just want any more feedback that we can do to make your lives a little bit easier day to day. So please feel free to reach out. Again, if you just want more information on any one of these new features, reach out to support@loft47.com or hit that chat button. Have a great day.